project Women Making Her Story meant getting to know the untold history composed of invisible stories of a city I barely knew. The project gave me the chance to connect to Malmö in a very special way. Women Making Her Story is a true feminist project since it brings to the surface the hard work and constant contributions of the city's women. And it also shines a light on the foundations upon which Malmö was and is still being built every single day. Generosity is the word that comes to mind whenever I think of this project. First of all, Parvin Ardalan's generosity in opening up a platform for all of Malmö's women to stand on. And secondly, the generosity of the women who shared their life stories and most treasured memories with all of us. Generosity, solidarity, and strength are everywhere in Malmö. Women Making Her Story makes us aware of them.
Det har varit väldigt spännande och lärorikt att jobba med Women Making HERstory eftersom projektet har samlat så många olika kvinnor, olika åldrar, olika bakgrunder. Och det har känts jätteviktigt att de här berättelserna ska få läsas och höras och synas. Jag har gått in mycket i texten, men vi har också tänkt mycket på att olika uttryck ska få ta plats. Illustrationer, serier och olika slags uttryck. Så det har varit jätteviktigt och lärorikt att få jobba med den här boken.
project Women Making Her Story taught me that we are not immune to collective amnesia in Sweden. Even more important, it also reminded me of all the hardship that my mother and all the other immigrant women have endured in order to build our common city of Malmö.
Women Making History has meant tremendously much to me, both professionally and personally. It demanded that I unlearned ways of being and thinking. It taught me new ways of doing collaborative research and new ways of communicating. It gave me a deeper understanding of the long and ongoing struggle for equal rights. It also gave me a deeper understanding of the racism many women face, but also their strong-headed refusal to accept being put into stereotypical boxes or only being seen as either victims or saints. On a personal level, I got to know new people that are now my friends. To me, Women Making History was not only a project, it moved me deeply and keeps moving me in new directions.
Genom Women Making History har jag kunnat gå tillbaka i min egna historia och även andra kvinnors historia. Det var mycket lärorikt att vara en del av projektet. Att se och observera Malmös historia med projektets perspektiv ändrade min uppfattning om utanförskap. Jag kände en tillhörighet till min stad.
Women Making History has also been called a project, but it did not have strict guidelines and activities and kind of this focus on impact. It wanted to change things and it had aims, definitely, but it was more loose in style, and the roles of the different institutions and so on were not kind of set in stone from the beginning. All partners had to consider their roles. And I want to use a quote from Eva Hoffman, the writer. She says, "The past changes under the pressure of the present."
The Women Making History project is certainly one of the most successful development projects from Culture Department of Malmö. Reached out and gained the voices from so many different Swedish women with immigrant background. The impact it has made is not only the fact that with activist methods we have raised awareness of the importance of the women in the building of the city and the history of Malmö, but it is also a huge effort to gather and to collect so many voices and so many stories that will prevail for a long time or forever in the archives and in the institutions of the city. So it's both the awareness making but also the gathering of information and stories, and this is very, very important, I think.
Nothing has been finished. We have only written the first chapter of this movement.